feel like you're doing everything right when it comes to manifestation, but nothing is happening? This is why. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't wait for my manifestation, and you shouldn't either. You don't need more time to manifest, and it's not about trying harder. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you how to manifest faster by changing your personality. You know, when you hear the shift your energy, change your identity, and how you're actually using the laws of the universe. Welcome back, I'm Mar, and I love to talk about manifestation in a way that it actually clicks and how to actually create the life that you want. If you've been here before, then you already know manifestation works fast for me. And I'm not saying that to brag. I say that because I've spent the last decade mastering this. I've manifested pretty much everything I've ever wanted without the long delays, without waiting around, and without needing for everything to align perfectly in the high vibes. And I know that this goes against what most people teach, because most people will tell you that manifestation takes time, that you have to wait, that you have to heal your inner child, that the universe will deliver it when it's ready. But that belief right there, that's exactly why it's taking so long. Manifestation doesn't respond to time. Time is an illusion. And the truth is, it responds to identity. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. So if you're in the energy of waiting, hoping, or checking, you're literally reinforcing that reality that you don't have it yet. And the longer that you stay there, the longer it's going to take. The version of you who already has what you want, she's not waiting, she's not questioning, she's not looking for signs, for angel signs. She knows. And that is why her reality always moves faster. And I know you know somebody like that. So if you're ready to stop waiting and start receiving, make sure you're subscribed, because I'm gonna keep showing you exactly how to rewire your mindset, your energy, and your identity so your manifestations show up faster. And once you get this, everything's going to change. I've also had women reach out who want personalized help from me, like specific to their situation, their mindset, and their blocks. And it's absolutely not necessary because I explain everything with enough information in my videos. But I do have one-on-one coaching as another avenue aside from my reality redesign program. This is for you if you want direct guidance from me, where I can actually look at your situation and help you make it click. I left the details down in the description box if that is something that you feel called to. Alright, I'll leave today's timestamps right over here. Now let's get into it. So I want you to stop doing the manifestation techniques. I'm serious. Stop with the speaking out loud. Stop with the vision board. Stop with the scripting. Stop with the water method. Literally all of it. Because none of those things are what actually manifests your reality. And I know that that might sound crazy because that's what a lot of other people talk about. But after diving deep and studying manifestation, all of the methods, the rituals, nearly all the religions, I realized something that actually changed it for me. They're just tools. Say it with me. They're just tools. It's like when you're starting the new school year and you want those glittery, nice crayons instead of the regular ones. They look prettier. They feel more exciting. But at the end of the day, they both do the exact same thing. All you need is one thing, and that is your mind. The only thing that actually manifests your reality is what you assume to be true. That's it. Not what you write down, not what you repeat in the mirror, not what you visualize once a day, what you actually identify with. Once I understood this, everything started happening faster. Money has showed up in double. Opportunities came in. And it's not because I was doing more techniques, more rituals. It's because I switched what I assumed about myself. I've actually made a video prior to this talking about how I manifested $50,000 in my business online. And back then I thought it was a vision board that did the legwork for me because I didn't fully understand what I was doing. But now I do. I wasn't pretending. I had become the version of me who was already a successful business owner. I felt the naturalness of it. I embodied it. I made decisions from that version of me. And that's why everything started aligning. Don't manifest what you want. You manifest what feels normal to you. So let me blow your mind for a second. You're not manifesting anything. You're not attracting anything. You're creating everything. And I know that if you're new to this sounds a little intense. You're not waiting on the universe. You're not hoping and praying that things come to you. You are the creator of your entire reality. And this might take it too far for some, but you are the God source. Nothing can exist in your life that you didn't first imagine or feel as real. Everything that you're experiencing right now is something that you once identified with. And I'm not saying this so you can blame yourself and beat yourself up about it. I'm saying this because that is where your power is. Because if you created it, you can change it. If you're in a state of lack, you can move into a state of wealth. If you feel unloved by your partner or your spouse, you can shift yourself into a state of being loved. You're not stuck. You're just in a state. And this is why I don't rely on manifestation techniques. Because if you do think about it, you didn't script yourself to struggle. You didn't make a vision board so you can be broke. You didn't script your way into a bad relationship, right? So why do you think you need all of that to change your life? You don't need more techniques. You need to change what feels normal to you. And when I realized this, when it actually clicked for me, there were times in my life where things were actually just working. And I wasn't doing anything special. I wasn't scripting. I wasn't creating vision boards. I wasn't visualizing. I was just being a certain version of myself. That's manifestation. Not what you do, but who you are. You don't need years to manifest your desires. You don't even need months. If you're doing this right, it shouldn't take longer than a few days. And I know that's hard to hear. In other techniques, it says it takes time or it'll take a while, but I don't wait and you don't have to either. I could keep going on a rant about this, but I'm gonna go ahead and simplify it for you. And this one thing just completely changed it for me. Manifestation doesn't take long because we're manifesting every single minute, every single second, if you're counting by time, of our day in life. But that desire that you want, it only takes as long as it takes to feel natural. This is where they even have it written in plain sight, such as the Bible, where it suggests it is only 3 days. But we're not talking about literal time. This is about fullness. The moment that your desire feels completely real to you, the second that it feels natural, that's when it shows up. Not when you force it, not when you high vibe your way there. When it feels normal. And another thing is this is where a lot of people get it wrong. They think that they need to stay excited, positive, high vibes all day, otherwise they'll fuck it up. No, you don't need to force your emotions. You need to feel familiarity. If you can hold that state of already being the version of you that you want, the version of you who is successful, loved, wealthy, and it starts to feel natural, yeah, this is just who I am, duh. That's it. If you can hold that state, even for a short period of time, things will start to shift, sometimes even within days. And as I mentioned before, I'm quite honest, I do not like waiting. I've never been someone who likes to wait, and if this is you, make sure you're listening, because that's when it'll change for you. You're not waiting on time. You're waiting on it to feel real. The moment that it feels natural, it becomes your reality. Now that you understand why you don't have to wait, let me show you how you're gonna do this so you can manifest faster. You need to get clear on what your actual desire is. I don't mean something you think you need in order to get that desire. So if you want a car, why are you trying to manifest money for the car? You don't want money, you want the car, right? This is where people limit themselves. They start to think logically. How will this happen? Do I qualify? Do I have enough money for it? Do I have the down payment for it? No, manifestation doesn't follow your current circumstances. If you want the car, manifest the car and whatever needs to move in order for that to happen. There are people who receive things in a way that they wouldn't have planned. Opportunities, connections, unexpected pathways. That's how this works. There are no fixed rules. You are not limited to what looks possible right now. So instead of asking, what can I realistically get? Ask yourself, what do I actually want? Not what makes sense, not what feels safe, not what you've been told is possible. What do you truly desire? So now that you know what you want, what would it be like if I already had my desire? What would be different in your daily life? What would a normal day look like for you? What moment would prove that it's already done? And listen, this is where people overcomplicate it. You don't need a long visualization. You don't need some perfect detailed movie in your head. You only need a 5 to 10 second scene in your mind, because the scene isn't what manifests. It's the feeling that it gives you. You're not imagining it to see it. You're imagining it to feel it real. So let's say that you want a house. Don't imagine how you got it. Don't imagine how you're saving for it. Skip the paperwork, skip the realtor, skip the entire process. That's not your job. Go to the moment where it's already yours. You're already living there. Maybe you're standing in your kitchen because you love to cook, and someone you love, your mom, your sister, your bestie, looks at you and says, "Wow, Mar, you have such a beautiful home. This kitchen is stunning. I'm so happy for you." You hear their voice, you feel the hug, you feel their hair, their hug, you make it real. And I've done this with the smallest details, even imagining how something feels. And I've seen things manifest the very next day. That's it. You take that 5 to 10 second scene and you loop it in your mind again and again and again and again until it stops feeling like an imagination, and it starts to feel like a memory. When it feels like it's already happened, that's when it shows up. And this works for anything: money, love, opportunities, anything. Now let's make this practical, because I know a lot of you are probably wondering, okay, but what if my desire is money? It's the same process. Ask yourself, what would my life be like with me having plenty of money? Not getting money, not receiving money, but having money. What would your everyday life look like if money wasn't a problem? Maybe it's you shopping. You're not checking the prices. You're not thinking twice. You just get what you want. Or you're pumping at the gas station and you're filling up the tank and you're not even looking at the price. You're just getting gas because it doesn't matter. For me, I've done conversations. So I imagine myself with my husband, with my daughter in the back, and we're driving on a good day going to Starbucks. It's just a normal moment for us. And I say to him, I'm so happy that everything worked out. We don't have to worry anymore. And he responds, yeah, everything came through. We're good. That scene implies that it's done. It's natural. It's something that would actually happen in your life. And this applies to anything. If it's weight loss, imagine yourself putting on clothes that fit exactly how you want. It doesn't need to be complicated. It needs to be real and it needs to be natural, familiar. Continue looping that scene again and again. Whenever you have a moment, brushing your teeth, washing the dishes, any mundane task, loop that in your mind. And if it still feels like an imagination, continue looping it until it feels like a memory. When it feels real, that's when it manifests. And if you're not sure what scene to use, comment your desire below and I'll help you create a new one. Okay, now let's get into the last piece, because this is where people get confused as well. You need to do this in what's called theta or SAS, a state akin to sleep. And no, this does not mean that you have to be falling asleep or on the verge of falling asleep. Theta, or a state of akin to sleep, is when your body is relaxed and your mind is calm. That's it. You're actually in this state more often than you think. When you're washing dishes, when you're zoning out, when you're just sitting there not really thinking, that's actually when your mind is more receptive. So in those moments, that's when you bring in your scene, just for a few seconds. Loop it, feel it, and let it land. And listen, you don't even have to visualize it. If you're not a visual person, you can hear it, you can feel it, you can experience it in a way that it feels natural to you. And I've done this by hearing conversations, and that's when things shift for me. It's not about the image that you're creating in your mind, it's about the feeling that it gives. And something else that I want to add is that people think that they need to be in extreme excitement or force themselves to be in this high vibe. No, you don't have to do that. It needs to feel natural. If you had what you want, you wouldn't be running up and down the block. It would just feel normal. If you had money, you'd just spend without the stress. If you had a house, you just live in it. If you were loved, you'd just feel secure. That's the feeling that you're aiming for. You don't attract what you want. You assume what's true, and what you assume to be true becomes your reality. This is your foundation. Get clear on what you want, create a short natural scene, and feel it real until it feels normal. It's not about doing more. It's about becoming different. And if you take anything from this video, let it be this. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what feels natural to you. So start choosing differently. Start assuming differently. Start seeing yourself differently. And watch how your reality starts to reflect that. If this video helped you, make sure to like it so more people can see it. And subscribe, because I'm going to be breaking this down in a way that it actually makes sense and actually works. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. And I'll even make videos based on what you need. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.